6 o'clock news starts right now.
Like the rest of the southern border, the Del Rio sector seeing an increase of migrants crossing the border.
The manager of a ranch near Uvalde claims migrants are repeatedly causing property damage there and says something needs to be done.
Tiffany Huertas spoke with residents and local leaders and reports from Uvalde.
Here's another spot.
John Sewell is the manager of the 17,000-acre ranch near Uvalde.
I've had to put these poles up in the last week or so, but you can see up here on the top of the fence where they've been climbing over and just pulling it down here and down there.
Sewell says he's been seeing more migrants on the property these days.
I have some encounter with either the Border Patrol or illegal traffic at least 4 times a week, if not 10 times a week. And I don't have any problem with people wanting to better themselves. We just have to get a pathway to get there.
The mayor of Uvalde, Don McLaughlin, has similar feelings.
It's not that we're against these people coming over or whatever, but there's a right way to do it, and it needs to be done, and the border needs to be shut down.
According to U.S. Customs and Border Protection, in the last fiscal year that ended in February, Del Rio Border Patrol agents apprehended 6,438 families and 2,410 unaccompanied children. The previous year, they apprehended 4,231 families and 1,002 unaccompanied children. McLaughlin says human smuggling cases resulting in car chases is a big problem in this area.
We're seeing an influx of car chases in the city and in the county.
Some residents in the area are worried.
It was more controlled last year, and now we have this border thing out of control. Puts us all in danger.
I'm concerned. Yeah, because we don't know what could happen, because there's always a lot of kids everywhere.
Tiffany Huertas, KSAT 12 News.
President Joe Biden has tapped Vice President Kamala Harris to tackle what's at the root cause of the influx of migrants coming across the border. The vice president is expected to deal directly with governments in Central America about the poverty, crime, and corruption forcing many people to leave. As the former attorney general in California, she's known for her role in dismantling cartels that were flourishing in her home state, which some argue could help in dealing with countries like Honduras. Others say it will take using foreign aid for added leverage to pressure those governments.
And we need to see actual outcomes, and that the United States does not just give out money, right? That we need to combine evidence of outcomes with the money we are providing.
Smith says corruption is why the vice president won't just speak to presidents in these countries, but other branches of government and community groups that are struggling to improve people's lives. And coming up tonight at 10, an eye-opening experience of one of our own KSAT crews reporting on the border. Reporter Jonathan Cotto and photojournalist Sal Salazar ride along with DPS troopers who are helping patrol the border. Find out how many migrants were picked up in a 2-week span and what happened when a group of migrants saw our crew. That's new on the Night Beat tonight at 10.
In just 1 hour, Metro Health will be opening up registration for more than 3 weeks worth of appointments, even though by Monday, vaccines will be available to everyone 16 and up. So if these signups are happening before that change, who gets first dibs? Garrett Berger joined us live from the Alamo Dome to tell us. Garrett, this is kind of a confusing situation.
Absolutely, but don't worry, we figured it out for everybody. Now, the city says when 7 o'clock hits tonight, the only people who are going to be able to sign up are those who are eligible right now. So generally, that's people 50 and up, those with underlying medical conditions, as well as healthcare workers and teachers. However, those people who are healthy and under 50, you're going to have to wait. A portion of the 30,000 new appointments here at the Alamo Dome are being reserved anyways for people signed up by community health workers who are currently focusing on people 50 and older or those with underlying conditions. But the majority of those 30,000 appointments will be up for grabs at 7, either through online registration or by calling 311. Now, historically, those online appointments have gone quickly, so it's likely they won't be lasting until Monday for younger people to take advantage of. A Metro Health official says they would have liked to see their vaccine allocations go up alongside expanded eligibility, but that hasn't happened.
So, unfortunately, that's the reality of the situation. And we are all trying our best to ensure that the people who are at the greatest risk for the illness get vaccinated as early as possible.
Now, Kurian said a certain number of appointments will only be scheduled over the phone through 311. And given how long it takes to do those sign-ups, she expects they'll still have some available come Monday once eligibility expands. Additionally, you may get a shot at some of these appointments again. Depending on how many people don't show for their shot, the city may have to put them back into the registration system. Now, the mass vaccination sites like the Alamo Dome, they're a big deal, but they're not the end-all be-all of your search for a vaccine. We actually compiled a list of tips for how to go about getting a shot. You can find that on our website. Just check it out on KSAT.com. Live at the Alamo Dome, I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Garrett. Today, Governor Greg Abbott announcing he's expanding the Save Our Seniors program. That goal is to administer the vaccine directly to homebound seniors. He says seniors still a top priority.
Seniors will still have the ability to go to the front of the line. So for the time being, anybody who is 80 years of age and older, you will get to go to the front of any line providing vaccines in any part of the state of Texas.
Right now, Metro Health has slots open and University Health is creating a registry for seniors. For more details on those and other vaccine-related stories, head to ksat.com/vaccine.
Doctors have seen so many changes in children due to the COVID shutdown, with the latest focus being on sleep. Specialists are seeing an increase in kids coming in with sleep issues. Ursula Perry explains why this is happening and what you might need to change in your household to help your child get a good night's sleep.
Catching a few Z's isn't always hard, but catching enough of them is becoming an issue for more and more children. Sleep specialist at UT Health San Antonio, Dr. Karen Hensel-Franks, says virtual learning and social distancing is taking its toll 1 year after all the shutdowns began.
We have now children that have more sleep apnea. We have children that are having more insomnia, nightmares, circadian rhythm disorders.
One issue in particular has to do with kids being in their rooms too long with no PE classes to go to. The COVID-19 for kids is more like the COVID-30.
Some of the kids have gained about 20, 30 pounds. And so now are complaining to the parents, or the parents have heard them now snoring.
New cases of sleep apnea in kids is rising as a result. Dr. Franks is working on changing routines. The first one, make them get out of their room except to sleep. Make your children take their meals outside of their room. No studying or going to class while reclined. You have to be upright. And make them get outside every day.
As well, kids these days in this pandemic have found many ways to keep themselves occupied with screen time, texting, and so forth. That's why the doctor is recommending that all that stop at least 1 hour before bedtime. And that brings us to her final tip, and perhaps the most difficult. You need to set a bedtime and stick with it. Ursula Perry, KSAT 12 News.
Several organizations speaking out against bills in the Texas legislature that they believe are aimed at suppressing voters and the vote. Move Texas hosting a virtual press conference to voice its opposition to a couple of proposed bills in both the House and Senate that would limit absentee voting. Senate Bill 7 would require those who are disabled to disclose their disability to use the vote by mail option, something disability rights advocates are against.
For many reasons, people with disabilities don't have a diagnosis or an official one because that's a privilege. We might not have the ability to just access a doctor before we can go and vote.
The governor has made bills related to the election a top priority for the 2021 legislative session, which ends on May 31st. It was a constable's office with problems, claims of sexual harassment, of destroying evidence, even of perjury. It all happened under the command of Michelle Barrientos Vela. Tonight at 9, it's downfall as the KSAT 12 defenders pull the curtain back on Bexar County Precinct 2 while under this controversial constable. Again, that 1 hour special airs tonight, starting at 9 p.m.
Look outside with live cam today. Beautiful day out there, lower humidity, But our chances of rain, Adam, they're not over.
Oh, no, they're not. Actually, we need the rainfall, and there is a chance of rain right around the corner as we get into the weekend. Between now and then, well, another beautiful day tomorrow. Even today was pretty much right on par. 55 this morning, then 78 for the high temperature. You look at the readings right now, for the most part 70s. Pleasanton's an exception at 80, but Bexar County, surrounding counties and communities, mostly 70s. 79 Castroville, Bernie, you're at 70 degrees, and Bulverde now at 74. You get up to 84 in Cotulla, 81 Del Rio and Laredo, 84 degrees, and Kennedy just above 80. This evening, nothing to worry about. Clear sky, comfortable, low humidity. Not even jacket weather either. I mean, we'll be in the 70s and 60s. We won't drop down into the 50s until after midnight. And that's where we'll start the day tomorrow, right at 50 degrees Friday morning. Nothing but sunshine, another beautiful day, but a big temperature jump into the mid 80s by the afternoon. So shorts and short sleeves later on in the day. Southeasterly breeze at 5 to 15. We'll be back to talk about the next weather system that's moving into town and when that could bring us some rain coming right up.
Just about time now for the daily briefing on COVID-19 cases. That big news out of the city, those 30,000 appointments opening up at 7 p.m. tonight. But again, only for people who at this point qualify.
Unless they clarify again. Let's go live to City Hall.
Our public health authority here at San Antonio Metro Health, and this is our COVID-19 update for the San Antonio community. Tonight, we're reporting 210 new cases of COVID-19, which brings our total to 203,191. Our 7-day rolling average now is 179. Sadly, we are reporting 3 new deaths this evening. We have lost a total of 3,076 of our neighbors, friends, and family members to COVID-19 this year. Please keep their families and survivors in your prayers tonight. Again, every single one of these numbers that we report each night is a loved one who is dearly missed and lost. Over in our hospitals, there are 188 COVID-19 patients tonight. There were 31 new admissions in the last 24 hours. 69 patients are in ICU, and 39 are on ventilators. As of yesterday, with the vaccine update in Bexar County, 434,611 people have received their first dose vaccine, and a full 243,317 are fully vaccinated with both doses. Again, let's continue to wear our masks and social distance as we work to get more vaccines in our community and more people vaccinated. Quickly, an update on the Alamo Dome appointments. 30,000 appointments will be released tonight at 7 p.m., and everyone currently eligible age 16 and up with underlying health conditions or age 50 and up can register appointments. Again, these 30,000 appointments that will be released at 7 p.m. today are those for those who are 50 and up or 16 with underlying health conditions. Beginning Monday, everyone ages 16 and older will be eligible for vaccination and can register at that time. Our goal is to vaccinate everyone eligible, but we will continue to prioritize vulnerable populations. If you don't have internet access, you can book your appointment by calling 311 or call the COVID hotline. The 311 hotline operating hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday and Sunday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Remember that you can also subscribe to the vaccine alerts to let you know when appointments become available by texting vaccine or vacuna to 55000. Let me turn it now to Commissioner Clay Flores.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm County Commissioner Rebecca Clay Flores, and to date, Bexar County Hospital, UHS, has given a total of 236,581 vaccines, and yesterday alone gave 5,935. We have been working with our federal contacts to try to get Bexar County designated as a mass site, because if we receive a federal designation as a mass site, then we would be eligible to receive even more vaccines. Bexar County Hospital, UHS, at Crossroads Wonderland, has the capacity to vaccinate 8,000 people daily. We already have a confirmed community sites in the hardest hit areas that we are waiting to open as soon as we start receiving more vaccines. UHS has already put in a request for the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, as that one is a one shot, which would enable us to fully vaccinate the community quicker. But we are still waiting for a response from the federal government on that. This week, the Commissioner's Court, in conjunction with Bexar County Hospital, UHS, has kicked off a marketing campaign to encourage our community to continue wearing masks until all of Bexar County is vaccinated. Just because adults of any age will be able to get vaccinated starting next week, children still are not able to get vaccinated. We need to make sure we are keeping children safe. So please choose to wear your mask. You can find our campaign videos on the county's social media under the handle @BexarCounty. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Today, we also want to highlight frequently asked questions that we're receiving here at Metro Health and throughout our community. So we're going to be asking one of these questions each time we're on the air. And the questions are those that Metro Health and 311 receive regularly. So our first question tonight is going to be posed to our very own Dr. Wu, and that is, Dr. Wu, can the COVID-19 vaccine give someone COVID-19?
Absolutely not. There is no live virus. There is no dead virus. There's a bit either fake spike protein or a recipe for fake spike protein. And spike protein is like a really distinctive hat that the virus wears, so that your body makes antibodies, and those are your warriors, so that if your body ever sees any virus wearing that hat again, it knows to attack. So I think the other thing that goes along with that is sometimes people say, well, then how come people sometimes have side effects? And you'll notice the side effects never include losing your sense of taste or smell. They never include being short of breath. So it's not COVID. Those side effects are your immune system revving up, and it's good. It means the vaccine is working.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Wu.
All right, interesting update. The numbers maybe a little higher than we've seen over the last few days, with 210 new cases, unfortunately 3 new deaths. But what I found most interesting is we got some clarification on vaccinations. Plus, we heard from the county that they would like to be designated as a federal site. They want a mass site so they can get more vaccine and get more vaccine out to Bexar County. They have made that request to the federal government.
And I believe Dallas and Houston, they already have their own federal mass sites. So Commissioner Clay Flores there saying if San Antonio were to receive one of these sites, that means we would get an influx of vaccines available to our community.
And including that they have another site they want to open that's in one of the hardest hit areas. They're prepared to open that if they get more vaccine.
It sounds like they're saying they have the infrastructure, they just don't have the designation or the supply that would certainly come with that. We did hear some reiteration of the clarification on those 30,000 appointments opening up in the next 40 minutes for the Alamo Dome vaccinations. Again, those open up at 7 o'clock tonight, but the city saying those are only available for people who currently qualify, anyone 50 or older, excuse me, or if you are 16 or older with underlying health conditions.
That changes on Monday. On Monday, everyone every adult
eligible
can get a vaccine, but the most vulnerable populations will be prioritized. So a simpler way that the mayor put it there.
And I know a lot of people hearing this are going to say, well, those 30,000 appointments are going to go like that. If we have to wait till Monday, I may not get my turn.
Yeah.
But we do have some information on our website, other places you can look for a vaccine outside of the Alamo Dome, and some tips on how to do your best to snag one of those spots.
A lot of information out there and on our website as well. All right, let's switch over to the weather situation right now. Very blue sky. It's almost like I said it, I think when we got rains the other day, felt just very crisp and nice and beautiful day out there with the blue skies.
Yeah, it is.
Rain.
Yeah, because we had the cold front move through late last night, early this morning. And with it, of course, were some showers and thunderstorms, some severe weather in the hill country. Even around Lakey, we had reports of 2-inch diameter hail. Luckily around here, we just had some quick moving showers very early this morning. Take a look at the rainfall over the past 24 hours. You see the sweet spot? That's in the hill country. You look north of Highway 90, and that's where we had some good rainfall. Kerrville, Fredericksburg, 0.4 of an inch. Junction, over an inch. Lakey, reporting nearly 0.9 of an inch. And yes, they need the rain, but we all need the rain, especially as you get farther south into deep South Texas, Webb County, Laredo, all the way down through the valley there. an exceptional drought and parts of West Texas in an exceptional drought. So here's the system that moved through last night. That's exiting the bad severe weather situation, particularly in Alabama today. Numerous tornadoes, and we're talking big, long track tornadoes, not just the brief little touchdowns. These are life-changing and life-altering tornadoes there. Our next system is this dip in the upper level flow moving into the Rockies. Again, another one. That's going to affect us on Sunday. Right now we've got a 40% chance of rain, so some scattered activity likely. But we are leaning toward raising those rain chances and raising that probability and basically the coverage of the rain. We just need a little more confidence in what we're seeing with that upper level low. But right now, at least it looks like some scattered showers are likely for the end of the weekend. 50 tomorrow morning, 76 at noon, then 85 for the high temperature. So we see that big temperature jump from the morning low of 50. We rise 35 degrees into the mid 80s by the afternoon. Low humidity, another bluebird beautiful day. We get into Saturday, morning fog and drizzle. So a damp Saturday morning leading to a little bit of afternoon sun. Still warm though at 83 and humid on Saturday. Sunday, a boundary comes in. And with it, that upper level disturbance. So it's looking like a gray, windy day, some scattered showers. And again, right now we have it at 40%, but we may be increasing those odds even by later tonight or early tomorrow morning. So something to stay tuned for. Into next week, we'll have another boundary hit on Wednesday. That'll kick up the wind a bit and maybe cause a few storms on Wednesday.
All right. Thanks, Adam.
All right. You know, when it comes to the Spurs, I'm an optimist. I'm always looking for the silver and black lining. So in the blowout last night, was Luka Šamanić that brighter spot?
He was the bright spot last night. I mean, a few Spurs reached double digits, but for him being a second-year player, he really put on a nice show to show the potential that he has when he gets the playing time. Luka looking good last night, and Malcolm Brown talks Miami coming up.
It was cool, man. Just got to go up there. Obviously, sign my contract, be able to meet some of the staff, kind of get a quick feel for them.
Malcolm Brown made a quick trip to Miami last week to sign his contract with the Dolphins in Big Board Sports. Unable to find a trade partner for LaMarcus Aldridge, the Spurs reached a buyout agreement with L.A. for a reported $5.8 million, making him an unrestricted free agent. The Woj is reporting that the Heat are expected to become a front-runner to sign him, but Aldridge plans to talk with several teams before making his final decision. Also, the Spurs made a trade with the Warriors, getting center Marquise Chris and cash considerations for the draft rights to Katie Lane, the Spurs' second-round pick in 2015. Marquise played in 2 games this season before suffering a season-ending broken leg during a team scrimmage in late December. Last night, the Clippers hammered the Spurs 134-101, leading the entire way and by as many as 35 points. The Spurs had 4 players reach double digits, including second-year power forward Luka Šamanić, who matched his season-high 14 points with 5 of his 7 buckets inside the paint.
His confidence, he's going to just play. He's going to shoot it if he's open. He's going to drive it. He's going to pass it. He's going to try to play hard. And, he told me that, so I was happy when he said that, because a lot of guys that young and come here, or in the league in general, they could just be nervous to just do anything. So to see him have that confidence is big for him and his development.
Spurs and Clippers will close out their 3-game regular season series tonight at 7:30. Lonnie is out again with a sore right wrist.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
As he does every offseason, running back Malcolm Brown is back in town and working out ahead of his 7th season in the NFL. Last week, the still not great signed a reported 1-year deal with the Miami Dolphins after spending 6 seasons with the St. Louis/Los Angeles Rams. He's coming off his best season with a career-high 101 carries for a career-best 419 yards. So why did he choose Miami?
Man, it just seemed like they were genuinely interested. Just throughout the process with free agency, calling my agent, telling them not to really make any moves until we were able to talk. Just that start right there was I was thankful for. Just seeming like those guys were some pretty genuine guys, man. I was definitely excited for that.
Malcolm said he's looking forward to going back to Miami to meet more of his team, and he's excited to be making this move. Led by their second-year head coach Jeff Traylor, UTSA football is getting ready to start spring ball Monday morning. Last season, spring ball was wiped out due to COVID-19, so you know the guys are ready to get after it. Coach Traylor was asked if he has any new slogans heading into spring camp.
No, what you'll hear the most from our guys is just as the expectation rise, our culture has to rise and match it as well. I don't want to be a guy that's a mile wide and only about an inch deep. Our words are our words. Our mottos it's going to be hashtag 210 triangle toughness again. The biggest difference is going to be instead of me teaching it all the time and my coaches teaching it all the time, our players are now going to be the ones teaching it. Our kids that are in those single digits are going to be the one teaching it.
Coach Traylor has 12 super seniors on the roster who are taking advantage of an NCAA blanket waiver for all 2020 fall sports student athletes due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Super seniors.
Super seniors.
I like that.
Me too.
Did you come up with it?
No.
Yeah.
Thanks, Larry. Thanks, Larry.
It's going to give you credit.
I wish.
Every week, we ask her your biggest COVID questions, and we are pleased to be joined again this week by Dr. Ruth Berggren with the Long School of Medicine at UT Health San Antonio. Doctor, good to see you. Thanks, as always, for spending some time with us. Let's start with where we are in this effort to reach herd immunity. We're hearing every night during the daily briefings about the number of people vaccinated in our community going up, but kind of give us a broader perspective about that effort and where it stands locally.
Yes. So if you look at our state's website, COVID vaccine tracker, you can find county by county how everybody in Texas is doing. And we're doing pretty well. We've had more than 22% have had one vaccine, but only as of today, as of this afternoon, according to the state, 12.6% of Bexar County is fully immunized. So that's a long, long way from the goal of between 70 and 80% for herd immunity. Now, to be fair, you'd have to add the people that have had COVID within the last 3 months and recovered, because if you're within 3 months of having recovered from COVID, you're probably pretty well protected. Now, if you go back, though, to the beginning of the pandemic, folks who had their COVID a year ago, we have no guarantee that their natural immunity is still protecting them. So it's not clear. We can't give you a precise percentage of how much of Bexar County is exactly protected, but we do know how many have been immunized, and we're making progress. It's good news, but we have a long way to go to get to 70 to 80%.
All right, that leads into the viewer question. One of the viewer questions that we received for you is, do you have to get both doses of the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine if you've already had COVID-19 and have antibodies?
Yes. That's the bottom line. Yes, you do. And it gets back again to this issue that although natural immunity is helpful and we know it's protective, we don't know how long natural immunity lasts. And we have seen proven cases where beyond 90 days after recovering from infection, people got reinfected. Add to that the fact that we have variants and mutations, and we've seen what's happening in other countries, most particularly Brazil, where people who had recovered are now getting sick again with the mutant variant. We know that we can't rely on that natural infection to count towards your protection. So if you had it and you recovered, we're glad you recovered, but please get immunized with full doses in order to protect yourself as best we can protect you.
There's been a big area of question when it comes to the vaccine about pregnant women and how it could affect babies. And I read about a really interesting study that said that antibodies from vaccinated moms could be passed on to their newborn. So what do we know about that?
Yeah, that's really cool, and it's wonderful. It turns out that we have known about this kind of thing for a long time, and in particular, we deliberately immunize moms against the flu, against tetanus, diphtheria, pertussis, because it's proven that when you do that, moms' antibodies cross the placenta, go to the baby, and protect the baby for months. And since we figured that out and started immunizing moms to protect the babies, we've saved a lot of lives. So it shouldn't surprise us too much that the COVID vaccine-induced antibodies also cross the placenta and get into the baby. What we need to study right now is how protective those are and how long they last.
I had a viewer write me an email, Robert. His wife has, in this case, breast cancer, stage 4 breast cancer. His question was about cancer patients in general, as well as his wife. Should they still get the vaccine?
Yeah, so first, I'm sorry to hear about the cancer diagnosis. That's never easy for a family. But the answer is yes. We want to protect everybody from COVID infection. People who have cancer are oftentimes immunocompromised for a variety of reasons that may be related to the treatments that they are getting. And so we want them to be protected as well. And cancer is not a reason to not be vaccinated. In fact, it's probably a reason to get vaccinated. And may I add that our very own Mays Cancer Center is a vaccine hub, and people with cancer can get their vaccination there.
Excellent information to know. Do we have any indication right now how often people will have to be getting the COVID-19 vaccine?
So I always like to say, hope for the best and prepare for the worst. And most infectious disease specialists that I know think that we will at least have to have another vaccine a year after the first to account for the variants, right? The vaccines are being improved in order to account for these mutations that have been seen, and we're going to need to get at least a booster. It is likely that that will have to happen annually, but we don't know yet. And so we'll keep up with the data and inform everybody as we figure it out.
Dr. Ruth Bergeron with the Long School of Medicine at UT Health San Antonio. Always appreciate you sharing your expertise with us and our viewers. We'll see you next week.
Okay. Good night.
We'll be right back. The battle over voting rights on Capitol Hill continuing, with Democrats urging a change is needed.
Meanwhile, Republicans are pushing for more limitations, like cutting early voting and mail-in ballots. State Republican parties have pushed more than 250 pieces of new local election-related legislation in more than 40 different states.
The Democrats' national voting rights bill would lower barriers to voting, including putting in place automatic voter registration and requiring same-day voter registration. It would end partisan gerrymandering and strengthen campaign finance laws. Republicans have stood firmly against the bill.
I would like to ask my Republican colleagues, why are you so afraid of democracy?
This legislation would forcibly rewrite the election laws of all 50 states from here in Washington.
Senator Schumer has promised to bring Democrats' voting rights bill to a vote in the Senate, but has not set a date. We'll be right back. Beautiful day out there, feeling nice and springy, but no humidity.
You know, I'm really looking forward to Thermometer Thursday today.
It's an anniversary. That's what I have for you, Steve.
Oh, okay. All right, good.
I have a little extra special something sprinkled in as well.
Got it.
We'll see.
You're not surprised that I'm excited about Thermometer Thursday?
No, I know you are deep down every week. You just don't show it. So I like that you're really coming out of your shell and you're showing your emotions.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. Steve is really in a shell. It's
an important,
not a guy who lives in a shell.
important part of our relationship today.
True.
So more sunshine tomorrow and comfortable conditions. It's going to be sticky on Saturday, meaning just pretty humid out there. And then this weekend, that's our next chance of some rainfall. So let's get right to it. Take a look at the rain that fell last night, mainly in the hill country. We're talking between Highway 90 and I-10, and then of course northeastward up into central Texas as well. And some locations actually had some decent rain. I mean, Bernie about 1/3 of an inch, Bandera 6/10, Lakey about 9/10 of an inch at the airport here in San Antonio, 2/100 of an inch, and our weather watcher in Leon Springs about 16/100 of an inch. So we did have a little bit around here, but not a whole lot. Most of it was in the hill country, even some severe hail in the hill country last night as well. Here's the latest drought monitor, of course, updated every Thursday. So this is the newest one. And northern Bexar County in the severe drought zone, and even into Comal County, Kendall County, eastern Kerr, Bandera, Medina counties. But you go farther south of San Antonio, especially into Webb County. That's where we have the exceptional drought. So we all need the rainfall. This time it happened to be over the hill country. And even, of course, a couple of nights ago, we had some rain in the hill country as well. Looking at the big picture, what hasn't changed this week is the percentage of Texas in drought. It remains at 68%, which tells us that we had some maintenance rain over the past week, those passing showers and thunderstorms that came and went in at least other parts of Texas to alleviate some of the drought there and at least keep them from going into deeper drought. The severe weather, mainly Alabama today, but even stretching up into parts of Tennessee, Kentucky, and the Ohio Valley there. But I mean, we're talking big long track tornadoes today in parts of Alabama. And that's the system that moved through here yesterday. Different storms, obviously, but the same upper level component and big upper level swirl. What we're watching for Sunday is this next system dropping into the Rockies, more mountain snowfall there, some late season snowfall. This is going to continue to drop southward. There's some question marks around this upper low. It's hard to really pin it down, even just a few days out, because it's a little erratic. But right now we're thinking some scattered showers on Sunday. So a cloudy day on Sunday. A little windy as well, with some areas of passing showers. Not necessarily a lot of thunderstorms, just some rain, but we may be increasing those rain chances. Right now we have it at 40%, but if we get a little more confidence in the pattern and that upper low and what it should do, then we may ramp up the coverage of that rainfall and increase those chances. Perfect out there right now. Beautiful evening, 77, sunny. Dew point of 39, low humidity, and the low humidity is going to remain in place through tomorrow. I mentioned earlier, Saturday, that's going to be one of the few days that stands out as a little muggy and sticky outside. Cotulla, Laredo, 84. We're 82, Beeville. For the most part, elsewhere, we're in the 70s. Tomorrow morning, waking up to temperatures right near 50, but we'll be in the 40s when you get into the hill country. Even Canyon Lake, 48 degrees to start the day. By the afternoon, well into the 80s for most of us. Even Creasville Springs up to 90. Uvalde 86 along with Pleasanton. You get to Converse about 83. Lackland area 85. Helotes 82 with the southeasterly breeze at 5 to 15 and nothing but sunshine. There we go into the weekend. Saturday morning damp just because of drizzle and fog, but the rain chances hold off until Sunday. And then next week we have another shot at some showers as we get into Wednesday with a cold front. Every March.
The chuckle.
Every March.
Oh, yes. I know what this
Yes,
is.
and I have an extra special bonus for you.
Ooh, okay.
Every March we celebrate the birth of my very first thermometer. So it's the anniversary, or you could say birthday.
Oh.
So it was so hard to believe. 21 years ago now this month that I was on the 4th floor of Clifford Hall at the University of North Dakota in the laboratory, blowing glass, failing at first, and then finally having some success. And Dr. Reinhardt made sure to take photos of all of us with our proud smiles and our very first homemade thermometer. So that was me.
Can I ask you a question? Mm-hmm. Did you smile that big when your first child was born? Because that's a pretty big smile.
I always have a big smile. And I mean, since we're talking college, I was going through some old photos the other night. You want to see another college photo?
Yes.
You got a call for
it. Yes.
Oh, yeah!
Wow.
Goodness.
Look at that hair. Isn't that awesome? That is some rowdy hair there. I could uncurl it and I could put it in my mouth and let go and go ba-ding, right back up.
What a gift.
College Kasky.
How times have changed.
You're welcome, everybody. You're welcome. Oh, times have changed, right? I look pretty much the same.
I like the smiley face on the undisclosed person.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to, I don't know where Karen is these days, so I didn't want to put her out there. So Kelsey Smith of Helotes, the winner of this week's homemade thermometer on the anniversary, the 21st anniversary.
A curly haired Adam Cassidy.
Oh, we all have our
the
prime,
thermometer.
right? We all had our prime.
It's not the hair that I love. It's the thermometer, obviously. That's my excitement.
Of course, obviously. In case you missed it, coming up next.
Morning to you. Time to rise and shine. It is Thursday, March 25th.
At 5, the Department of State Health Services releasing the number of winter storm-related deaths today.
111 people are estimated to have died as a result of the freeze across the state of Texas. Here in Bexar County, 4 people died, according to the state.
There were consequences associated with illegal immigration under the previous administration, but when those policies were reversed, it looked like it was an open door policy.
Senator John Cornyn discussing the situation at the southern border today, saying he understands why people are fleeing Central America, but he feels like the consequences illegal immigration brings to the U.S. are being neglected. At home, a man and woman recovering after a gun went off, the bullet striking them both. It happened around 4 this morning at an apartment on Delmar near South Hackberry in Iowa. Investigators say the man was cleaning the gun when it accidentally discharged. He was hit in the arm. The woman struck in her stomach by the same bullet. Both taken to the hospital. They are expected to be okay.
A hopeful but serious President Biden today said the nation is making real progress in the fight against the coronavirus.
Now today I'm setting a second goal, and that is we will, by my 100th day in office, have administered 200 million shots in people's arms.
Eager to sell his first major relief legislation, the president instead facing tough questions at his first press conference, whether his team is doing enough to house and care for migrant children, and if his own policies played a role.
Oh, there's our winner again, Kelsey Smith of Helotes. Just want to make sure she didn't miss that because I haven't heard back from her on the email. Anyway, looking ahead at the forecast as we get into this weekend, we'll have some rain by Sunday. Windy as well and a little bit cooler near 70.
Maybe she didn't see the throwback picture of you in the curly-haired casket because then she'd be calling back for sure.
That's not something